Good evening, all. I am audible. Please reply in the chat. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, let me start the session. It's already 6:30. Yeah, I'll share my screen. So yesterday we were discussing about algorithm and all, isn't it? Right. Okay. So yeah, are you all able to see my screen? Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start with the fundamentals of C today. Okay, so as I said yesterday, to write a program or to give some statements to the computer, uh, it it will take some keywords, characters, and digits, operators, and all. Right now, so in that form, you will be entering the instructions to the system. Right. So here, before we start writing the program, we need to understand like what are the concept and what are the content we use to write a program. Okay, so in that case, these are the main topics you can observe here. That is character set, constants, character set, constants, keywords, identifiers, variables, expression, statements. Okay, these are these are the things or components I can say that you have to learn whenever you want to write a program. Okay, now let's go through these things one by one. Okay, so here first one is character set. So character set is nothing but, so here you can see character set includes alphabets, digits, special symbol. So what is alphabet? See A to Z. You see right in the keyboard A to Z. But here A to Z small letter and capital letter. Please mute yourself, all of you. Yes. So here A to Z, that is capital letter and small letters, will be treated as different. Okay, we will consider it as very different. It's not same. Okay, for example, let me show you one example here. So for example, if I write like uh, India, and if I write like, meaning is same, right? Here I have written India two times. I have written right. No, so here what you have to understand is contents are same. I mean, whatever I have entered, that string, both are same, both are having same meaning, but your system will take these two words differently. Why? Because this, here we have taken only small letter, and here the first letter of that word is in capital letter, isn't it? So we consider these two things very differently. Okay, so alphabets include A to Z, that is small letter and capital letter. Okay, uppercase letter and lowercase letters. And also it takes some digits. Okay, it takes some digits. Digits means what? 0 to 9. Okay, how many? 0 to 9. Later we will be taking some combination of it, right? No, 10 means 1 and 0, like that combinations will be there. So this is what under the character set even digits will come. Now special symbol. Voice is breaking. Others, I am audible or any problem you're facing? Can anyone audible? Okay.
Audible, ma'am.
Audible. Okay, fine. Thank you. Yes. So here, special symbols are, see, other than your character and digits, what we have. So here you might have observed that negation symbol, not, at the rate, hash, dollar sign, percentage, or, and. These are what, this comes under the special symbols. So for example, why we use this star? Suppose if you want to multiply two numbers, then we use this star. It's not like into. We are not using into here. Okay, instead we use a this star. Okay, in the same way, to add plus, that is an operator. So all this comes under the special symbols. Okay, so these are the three types under the character set. Now let's consider constants, the second part of that fundamentals of C, that is constant. Any doubts or queries under this? Please post your messages, only messages. Any doubts under this? No, right? Okay, good. So we'll move on to the next topic, that is constants. Okay, so try to understand the meaning of it first. Okay, constant. What is constant? Constants are the quantities whose value do not change during the execution of a program. Okay. See, special symbols are nothing but, see this, you can see, right? Like in a keyboard, other than digits and characters, we have some symbols, right? At the rate, hash, all those comes under the special symbols. That's it. Okay. And these are the symbols we use for our programming. So that is what character set. Next one, it is constant. So try to understand the meaning first. Constant means what? The quantities whose value do not change during the execution of a program. Sometimes we use this particular word, right? It's constant. That means what? Don't change your place, right? So in the same way, when you make a variable as constant, that variable value will not change during the program, okay, during the execution of the program. For example, so here these values can be digits or characters. Example 12. You might have assigned a value to the variable. Okay, variable means nothing but don't worry what is variable and don't think too much. Okay, so here, for example, int a is equal to 10. Okay, for time being, int is also not needed. Okay, a is equal to 10. So what is a? A is just a location where you are storing the variable 10. Okay, where you are going to store the variable value 10. Okay, so here, when you consider this a as constant, that throughout the program, the value of this variable a will not change. So we call it as constant. So constants are the quantities whose value do not change during the execution of a program. Okay, these values can be digits or characters. It can be digits or characters, anything it can be. Okay, now next one, examples are entered here. Okay, this is just an example. 12 minus 22.5, 7.5, whatever value you are going to assign to the variable means a. Okay, this is a is a variable. I'll consider this a as variable. Okay, so whatever the value you are assigning to this variable will be constant throughout the program. Please mute. Throughout the program, this value will be constant. Got it? So constants are of two types. What are those? So these things we can say, we can consider this is very important here. So what is that? We have two types of constant. First one is numeric and second one is character. Okay, character. So let us understand what is numeric. Numeric means what? It's a number, right? What type of numbers we have? What type of numbers we use? Can you tell me? Can anyone tell me what type of numbers we use? Post your message in the chat box, please. Yeah, 0 to, okay, decimal. Okay, decimal and integer. Okay, integer and right. Okay, so yeah, some people may not understand what is integer, what is float, correct? So let us make it very simple. See, number means we have one whole number and with the fraction, correct? For example, I'll write over here. Okay, I will consider 10. It's a whole number. If I write 10.5, number with the fraction, right? Yes or no? So these are the two types, correct? These are two types. What I do, these two things comes under the numeric because it is a number, right? When you are storing this whole number, try to understand, when you want to store this whole number, I will be using the data type integer, that is int. Got it? So whenever you use this int is nothing but it is a data type. Okay, don't worry. See, once again I'll repeat. Numeric means number. Numbers are of two types. One is whole number and number with the fraction. So this whole number will be stored under the data type int, and this number with the fraction will be stored under the data type float. It's clear? It's clear? Yes or no? Only yes or no? Yes. Right. Very good. So now, suppose now I'll continue with that itself. Now, for example, what I do, I will write like int. Okay, let me write here int a. So int a I have written. So that means what? You are creating variable of type integer, right? Of type integer means what type of values you can store here? So I have written int a. Int a means a is a variable and it is of type data type integer. That means this a can hold only whole numbers. Right, very good. Okay, so if I can store like a is equal to 10, sorry, a is equal to 10, uh, even you can store like a is equal to 20, right? Even you can store a is equal to minus 20. It doesn't matter whether it is a negative number or positive number, but what you are doing, you will be storing only whole numbers in it. Okay, you will be storing only whole number in it, where in the integer data type. Okay, so now next, what if I use float? Float means what? If you want to store the decimal point, that is a fraction, then we will enter in the float. Okay, that is float is equal to 20.5. B is equal to minus 2.7. We can store. It doesn't matter whether it is a negative number or positive number. Got it? Got it? This is all about integer. Okay, this is just we discussed about the numeric type now. Okay, this is just about numeric type. Numeric are of two type, integer and the float. Integer means you'll be storing whole number. Float means you'll be storing number with decimal fraction. Clear? Now next one. I'll delete this. Now next one what we have is character here, right? This is the second type. So character, how many types of characters are there? I mean, what are those? Let me consider character. Character means it can be a single character and it can be, okay, it can be a single character or it can be string. So for some people, it is a string means you don't know. But single character, for example, let me write example for single. Okay, so single means only a single character. That's it, A. And we can store like within single quote B. Okay, and C. Only one character you can store there in the single. But what is string? What do you mean by string here? String means nothing but sum of character. Okay, what is string? String means sum of characters. Okay, sum of characters. So for example, sum of characters means what? You can take your name. It's a character, sum of characters, right? Or I can write that like computer. Group of characters, yes. Right, no? String means what? Sum of characters or a group of characters. When it comes to single, we have to use only single character. Okay, we have to use only single character. These are the difference between the these are the two things comes into the character. One is single and another one is a string. So your name comes under the string, and if it is a single, for example, yeah, like see, while filling the application form and all, sometime we will get one option like gender, F or M, right? No, F or M, only one single character they will enter. In that case, this single will be in use, right? Correct? No? Yes. See here, why we have to learn this constant. For example, one example I will give you. Suppose if you want to fill yeah, you will be planning to go somewhere. Okay, you want to book the ticket. So how do you fill the form online? You will be getting the application form, right? Yes or no? By some options. Yes or no? So what are those? For example, yeah, number, name, then age, then what we can say? Yeah, payment, all these things, right? No. So when you are filling that, mostly string, yes, most of the things are string only, but when it comes to your age, when it comes to your number, what it is, it's a number, right? Yes or no? You all know to fill the form, correct? So how do you fill the form? You people are knowing how to fill it. For example, first field, maybe it is name. There you will be entering only the name, right? That is group of characters you will be entering. Yes or no? Will you enter any number there? Will you enter any number? No, right? No, because you know that you have to give the valid type of data there, right? Valid data you have to enter. When it comes to phone number, when it comes to our phone number, we have to enter only number. Their characters are not allowed, right? No, their characters are not allowed. So this is how you are knowing when it comes to the gender. Maybe there will be option like F or M. So there you have to select one character, isn't it? So this is how we are filling the form. Why I have given this example is you have to understand which type of data you are using. Before writing the program, you should know the requirement of it. The requirement means what? Which type of data you are using. Suppose if I ask you to add two numbers, you know that I have to add two numbers. Numbers may be whole number or it may be floating point number or real numbers. Correct. So if I ask you to concatenate strings, means what? You have to join two strings. For example, computer and science. So that you have to combine or we have to merge it. So there, what type of data we will be using? We are using string. Correct. So why this example I have given is just for the understanding purpose. Why we are dealing with a constant or number, numeric characters and all. Because program means itself you are working with the data. So it is very important to know that which type of data you are using, right? No. So these are what two types of constants, that is numeric and character. Numeric of two types, character of two types. Numeric two types, that is integer and float. Integer to store whole number, float to store number with decimal fraction. And in the character also there are two types, that is single and string. String means to store a single character. String means to store a group of character. Up to this, is it clear to you all? Is it clear? Understanding, right? Right. Thank you. Thank you for the reply. Okay. Now let us move on to the next. What is that? Okay. So next one is keyword. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Fine. So next one is keyword. So what is keyword? Keywords are the reserved words in programming. Okay, try to understand this. Keywords are the reserved words in programming which are predefined by the software developer for some specific purpose. So try to understand these are the keywords. Okay. Uh, so like continue, go to, auto, do, unsigned. All these are what we call it as. Okay. So these are what keywords. What is the use of this keyword? What is the use of this keyword? Now let us understand what, yeah, inbuilt words. Very good, Satish. Okay, inbuilt words. So inbuilt word means yesterday I had given an example, right? That is like Excel. When you are using Excel, you will be adding, so that you will be using sum, correct? So that sum is a word only that is already kept only for the purpose of adding, correct? Yes or no? right? So here also in the C program, we are having such type of words. Okay, we have reserved it. We have reserved it for specific purpose. What is a specific purpose? For example, let me give an example. See, when we will use if, can you tell me? When we will use if? Condition, right now? Condition, very good. Will you agree? Daily, whenever we use that if word if, that means there is a condition next to that. Yes, yes, no, no, very good. Right now, for the question like yes or no type of questions. So here, you know that if means what it is for condition. Same example here also I'm using that if is a keyword. Just to understand what is keyword, I have taken up that example, that is if. If means what? You have to understand it is a condition. And even whenever you use this if in your programming, compiler understand that this is for the condition. Got it? This is for the condition purpose. So only that has its own meaning. Okay. In the same way, go to is there, then do, short. See, int we used, right? Int. Just now I explained with the int, float, then int, float, double, char. All these are the keywords. Why it is reserved? See, int means so that whatever the variables you are using, we will come to know that it is of type integer, right? It is of type integer. So otherwise what we have, computer means what? It has to understand all these instructions whatever you are going to give. Correct? Yes or no? So here, this is the purpose of using this keywords. Okay, this is the purpose of using these keywords. We are keeping all this only for the purpose of, we are reserved for specific purpose. Got it? It's clear? Okay, so const, that means constant. Then for means what is for the loop, for loop. After that, don't worry if you're not understanding, still we are in the learning procedure. Okay, so don't quit the session and all, please continue with the session. And yeah, so while do, all these are what we consider it as keyword. Okay, now next one, identifiers. So identifiers, the meaning itself tells something, right? Identify, why it is needed, why it is needed. See, for example, let me give an example. I have stored, okay, I have some numbers here. Yeah, I have numbers like 10, 20, 30. Okay, see, simply, yeah, to identify something is correct. I have some numbers, I've entered some number, but how I will come to know that this number is stored somewhere? Yes or no? Correct? Directly I cannot ask, like I cannot use. So what I do, I will give the location name A, this 20 is in B, and this one is in C. Got it? Sorry. So here 10, 20, 30 are the values. Okay. And these values are stored under the variable A, B, C. Clear? A, B, and C. So here A, B, C are the variables in which you are going to store the value 10, 20, 30. Correct? So that I can identify where that 10 is stored, where this 20 is stored, where this 30 is stored. Correct? So, for example, see, you all have name, right? Why we use your name? To identify the person, right? To identify the person, name is very important here. Right? No? Yes. Yes. Correct? Yes, Kaushik. So here 10, 20, 30 are stored in the variable A, B, C respectively. Correct? So this is the purpose of using identifier. So we use identifier in our program also. Let's see how and what it is. So this is, identifiers are the name given to C entities. Name given to C entities such as variables, functions, and structure. For time being, you take only variables. Okay, functions and structures you will understand in further. Okay, in the next upcoming concept. So now variables. So this I will consider as a variable. I have given so that I can identify, right? In the variable A 10 is stored. In the variable B, 20 is stored. In the variable C, 30 is stored. This is how we are going to like we are identifying, isn't it? In the same way, now example, int num1, comma int add. Hmm? Int num1 is what? Num1 is a variable now. Correct? Num1 is a variable and add is also variable here. Correct? So that we can identify. So that we can identify where exactly the values are going to be, you're going to store. Okay, now next one. In that, we have to follow some rules. See, whenever, for example, yeah, I have written no here. That is int is equal to 10, I can enter int num is equal to 20, I can enter, or like name is equal to, okay, character, right? Character num, sorry, name of 20 is equal to ABC. Okay, so what's the meaning of this? What I have entered here? So here int a is equal to 10 means 10 is a value and you are going to store in the variable a, right? And in the same way, 20 is a value you are going to store in the variable num, right? In the same way, ABCD is a character, or we can consider it a string, and that string you are going to store in the variable name. So you can observe, I'm just discussing about this variable name. So name is variable here, num is variable here, a is variable here. To give this name, we have to follow some rules. That's what, okay, that we are learning here. To enter this variable name here, you have to follow some rules. What are those rules? Let's learn about that rules. So first one is identifier can be, identifier can include alphabets, digits, underscore, and dollar sign. So here, whenever you want to give a variable name or a function name or a structure name as identifier, so you have to include what? Alphabets. You can include alphabets, you can include digits, you can include underscore and dollar sign. Okay, dollar sign. So I will give an example for this. For example, so variable name. Let me apply the first rule. That is int num1. So do I have a number here? I mean, whether it has alphabets here? Yes or no? In the variable name, I have alphabets, right? And also I have number here, right? That is digits. Next one, underscore also you can use. For example, I can use in this way, num1. I can use in this way, and also dollar sign also you can use. Okay, this is one rule, but you're not supposed to enter space here. If you have entered space, it is wrong. It is invalid. Okay, this variable will be considered as invalid. Why? Because space is not allowed while writing the variable name or identifiers. Okay, so that either you have to use this underscore or you're not supposed to enter this that space. Space is not allowed. Yes. So here the character must be an alphabet or an underscore. Okay, whatever you use in between, it should be either uh, digits also you can use, but uh, either underscore you can use. Only the special character underscore or dollar sign you can use. And next one, it should not be a keyword. What does it mean? Why we are not supposed to use this keyword as our variable name? Can you tell me? What happens if I write like int if? What happens? Can you reply? They are reserved, right? Very good. They are reserved. See, we have reserved that word for the specific purpose. How can you use that specific word, I mean, reserved word for our variable name, right? No, variable name can be anything, but we cannot use that keyword, right? So for that reason, you are not supposed to enter these 32 keywords as variable name. Got it? Right. Now next rule, an identifiers can be any length. You can enter any length of any length of variable name. And the next one, an identifier should not contain any space or punctuation mark. So for example, I'll enter here int num plus, space is not given, space you are not supposed to enter. What happens if I enter plus over here? Plus is having its own meaning, right? Correct. Plus we are using only to add. How we can use it as a variable name? Am I right? You're not you are not allowed to use that operator. Okay, so that is the last rule, that is an identifier should not contain any space or punctuation mark. Okay, so these are what our rules. Is it clear to you all? Identifier cannot start with a digit, it is not included. Very good, very good. Yes, it is not included. Actually, one more rule is there. Identifiers cannot start with a digit. For example, usually we don't start, but still I'll show you. For example, you're not supposed to enter like int one num. This is invalid. Okay, this I'll consider as invalid. But how we can enter int num1? You can enter. Okay, always the variable name should not start with a digit, but it can end with a digit. Okay, right? Okay, so this is one more important point which is not included in this. Okay, fine. So these are what the rules to be followed. Usually we don't use like that because yeah, num1, num2 or A, B, C, D, like that only we will use, right? Yes, it's clear, right? All of you? Up to this, is it clear? Yes. Right. So now let us go through the next what is that, variables. So now variables, what is variables? Okay, so now can you see here, don't consider this. I have written here one statement, right? That is 20 and A. So what is the meaning of it? See, for example, a variable is a name given to a memory location to store data. Very simple. A variable is a name given to a memory location to store data. How do I store state data? For example, same as identifiers, like rules are to be followed for the variables are same like identifiers, like whatever we discuss is now rules. Same thing. Now, example for variables, a is equal to 20. So 20 is what? It's a value, right? This value 20 to be stored under some variable. So here, when I enter like int a is equal to 20, like this one memory locations will be created in the computer. Okay. So yeah, we are creating a space, and that to that space we have to give the name. So what is a name? A. A is a name. So that we can say that A is having value 20. Marks is equal to 90.5. Value is equal to A. Name is equal to Arun. So these are what some of the examples for variables. Clear? Okay. So these are what some example for variables. Now next one, expression. So what is expression? You might have used in the mathematics, right? Uh, Expression means what? It which contains operators and variables. Right now, for example, 10 plus 20, then A into B plus C by D. So what and all you can see under this? One is operator you can see, and another one is operands you can see. Correct? A, B, C, D are the variables, and into plus division are the operators. So an expression is a combination of statements. What it is? It is a combination of statements, variables, and operators. We consider it as expression. Okay. Now next one, statements. So under the statements, you know that whenever we write a program is nothing but the statements. So which type of statements we can enter? That can be first one, expression statement. Expression statement means just these are the example. You can use statements in this format. That is combination of variables, operators you can use as a statement. That comes under the expression statement. Control statement. Control statement means what? Try to understand here. Control statement means nothing but, for example, okay, yeah. So for example, I will be executing a program line by line. Please mute. I will be executing program line by line, means one after the another. Okay. So here just this example I'm showing. So what I do here is after executing after executing this, okay, after executing this after executing this first statement, we are moving to the second statement. After that, to the third statement, fourth statement, fifth statement. Like this, maybe we are executing sequential wise, sequential or linear order. Linear means what? One after another. So what happens here? Control statement means maybe if you might have entered in a sequential way, but in between you want to change the order of it. So what do you mean by order? So after executing the first statement, maybe you want to execute the third statement. Okay, after that fifth statement, again you will come back to the fourth statement, second statement. It is not like sequential wise. You have to choose your own options there. Okay, based on that, see for example, yesterday one example I had given, even or odd, right? Now even or odd, you will be checking for the condition. Based on that condition, if the remainder is 0, then what number it is? Which type of number? Even or odd? It's even, right? Right, it is even. Whether we can consider it as odd number? No, right? We don't consider it as an odd number because the output will be wrong if you consider. So for that reason, here, even though you have written sequentially, based on the condition you are executing the statement, right? Based on the condition, if your logic is generating reminder as 0, then even number only it has to be executed, not odd numbers, right? So that there you will be changing the order of it. Okay. So that we call it as control statement. When you apply such concept to your program, we call it as control statement. Next one is compound statement. So what is compound statement? Anyone? Do you know what is compound statement? Do you know what is compound statement? Okay, for example, nothing but very easy. So within this open and close parentheses, okay, whatever we use, okay, for example, int a, int a is equal to 10, and int b is equal to 20, and I'll write like c is equal to a plus b. So very easy. So these three statements are included within this open and close parentheses, right? No. Okay. So we consider this as one block. Okay. So we consider this as one block. So this is what? Compound statement. Control statement is nothing but you have to, like, we are based on the condition you will be executing. Okay, based on the condition you will be executing, in which the statement won't execute in the order in the sense sequentially it won't execute. Instead it will execute based on the condition. Okay, so that is control statement. And compound statement means, just now I have shown that within the open and close parentheses, what statement you are including, that we can consider as a compound statement. Now next one, directly I cannot go through the program. Okay, so I have to explain all this, then only you can understand. Right now, will you agree? You may ask now, where is the program? You may be thinking, some people may be thinking that where is the program? She's not teaching. It's not like that, students. Without knowing or without understanding this concept, it is of no use of learning program. Okay, so it's very mandatory to understand this. See, these things are will take, actually it is a chapter wise concept, but I'm very in a simple way I'm explaining so that you will understand very easily. Okay, so now we are in the next topic. I'll continue with the next topic, that is data types. What is the meaning of data types and operators? What is data type? Data type means nothing but type of the data. Data means what? Your numbers. Okay, what type of data you will be entering? Maybe number, maybe character, right? No, right. What type of data we store in the memory? You should know, right? Name. See, when I ask what is your name, you will say, you know that. Or for example, I will ask you to write your name. You will be using only character, correct? You will be using only character. I will later, next question, I will ask you to enter your age. You will be using some number, right? I will be asking your phone number. You will be entering number. I will be asking address. You will be entering character. So that whenever I ask such question, you know that which type of data to be used, correct? Yes or no? Whenever from my end question comes, you should know which type of answer you should write. Maybe it is number, maybe it is character. So this chapter states what are the types of data. So very quickly, I will take up four types are there. That is integer. We have already learned about it. Integer, float, double, and character. Why double? Here's a question. Okay, integer why we use? Let me ask you some question. Why integer is used? Let me know whether my session is understandable or not. You have to answer. Why integer? For numericals, okay? Storing integers, okay? Any other answers? Yeah, you can reply everyone. Why we use for integer, yeah, inserting number store, right? Round figure, very good. Whole number, very good. Entering marks, okay. Yeah, very good. Okay, I'm very happy by your answer.
For storing
Right. For storing number, right? Yes. Then why we use float? There also we use number, right? Ah, yes. Why? Because fraction, with the fraction value. If you want to store the, if you want to store the value with the fraction, then we use this. Yeah, then we use this floating point number. Okay. Then what is double then? What is double? What is double? Do you know why double is used? Okay. So I will teach you why I will you will understand why this double character and all. Okay. Now first one, only important things I'll explain here. What is integer? So you know that integer is used to store whole number. Okay. So integer, it allows variable to store whole numbers. We can't store decimal values using int data type. For example, if you're trying to store 10.5 in the variable int, in the data type int, it is not possible to store. Okay, it's not possible to store, right? Because we have some other data type to store such values, isn't it? After that, if we use int data type to store decimal value, okay, if you use int data type to store decimal values, the decimal values will be truncated. What do you mean by truncating? It will be like that 0.5 won't be taken, only the value 10 will be taken by the integer data type. For example, I'll explain. Int a is equal to 10.5. Actually, I'm doing wrong here. Why? Because I'm trying to store real numbers in the variable a, which is of type integer, correct? But it won't take. Instead, truncated means what? It will take only a will be stored with the value 10. 0.5 will be truncated, means it will be ignored by the compiler. It won't consider this value. Okay, if you want to store this whole number, then you have to go for float. Then you have to go for float. Okay, it will cut. Okay, yes, Abhishek. So now the decimal values will be truncated and we will get only whole numbers. Okay, so that it can store only whole numbers. It can store both the negative and the positive values. Okay, what it can store? It can store both the negative. No matters whether you are storing negative value or positive value, but it will take only whole number. Right. After that, the int keyword is used to declare the integer data type. Which keyword is used here? Int is a keyword used to declare the variable. Okay, the int is a keyword or data type. Now next one, it takes 2 bytes of memory space, 2 to 4 bytes of memory space. So what is 2 byte? Do you know what is byte? What is bit? Let us move on to the bit topic. What is bit? Can you tell me what is bit? Okay, storage space, yes. 1 byte is equal to 8 bit. What is bit? Smallest unit of memory, very good. Small information, smallest unit of memory we can say. Okay, so for example, see, you know that your computer will not understand anything. That means only it can take 0 and 1. This 0 and 1 I can consider it as bit. I will consider it as bit. In the same way, 8 bits. Okay, 8 bits, combination of 8 bits, in the sense it can be a combination of 0 and 1. Okay, 0 1, sorry, 1 1 0 0. So 8 bits, which is equal to 8 bits, which is equal to what is 8? 8 bit is equal to what? 1 byte, right? No, 1 byte. Okay, what is the next level? What is the next level? 1024 byte, which is equal to KB, 1 KB, right? 1024 KB, which is equal to 1 MB, right? No, yes, students. So this is how we are storing. Okay, I will not take too much time for this. So here 1 byte means this is a value. Okay, and which means 32,768, somewhat up to this it can store the value. Up to this 32,768 number, up to this you can store under the variable integer. If you want to store more than that, what we have to do? We have to go for other variable, I mean other data type, that is double. Okay, we have to select for double. Got it? Okay, yes, minus 32,768 2 plus 32,767, up to that it will take. So in the same way, this is what integer will take 2 bytes of memory space. Okay, and in the same way, format specifier used for integer is percentage %d. You have to remember this. Percentage %d is the format specifier for the type integer. Okay, example, how do we enter? Int var1. Okay, so this is how we are entering. I hope it is clear to you all. Let me move on to the next topic, that is float. Once if you have understood with the integer, and this is also very easy to understand, that is float. So here variable defined under floating data type can hold real numbers such as 2.34 minus 9.382. So all these are what? These are fractional numbers, right? I mean decimal with the fraction. So here, this to store these values, we are using float data type. Okay, which data type we use? Float data type. Now here, the storage size of float data type is 4 bytes. How many bytes it will take? 4 bytes. Because even, for example, see, 0.0006, somewhat 6 digits it will take. To store that much long number, we have to use this float data type. Okay, in a simple way, those who are not understanding what is this, just try to understand. You are storing only what, uh, numbers with the fractions. Okay, don't worry more than that. After that, float is a keyword, right? Float is a keyword is used to declare a variable of floating type. What is the keyword we use to declare float type of variable? Float. For integer, int. For real numbers, float. Okay, and the format specifier used for float is percentage %f. Okay, so this percentage %f we are using for the for to enter float type of data type. Okay, now next one, double. What is double? So as I said, only 32,767 up to that you can store under the variable int. If at all you want to store more than that, let me give an example. Okay, to understand why double, very simple. Int a is equal to 12,000. Can anyone tell me, is it possible to store this value under the variable int? Yes or no? No. 12,000. 12,000 can be stored under the variable yes or no? Yes, right. You can store because it's not more than 36,000, 32,768. Right now, this value can be stored. Okay, don't be confused. And now one more value I will write. B is equal to, okay, 300. Is it possible? Is it possible to store in the under the integer now? Yes. Okay, now I will write one more statement. Int a plus b. Okay, int sum is equal to a plus b. Now tell me, can I store this, sum in the variable sum? After adding these two numbers, is it possible to store? Yes. Okay, fine. Can be stored. Now, for example, int multiplication is equal to a into b. Now, is it possible? No. Don't say yes. It is no. Okay. Why no? Because the result what it generate a into b, 12,000 into 300 means what? It's a big number, right? It's a big number, and that won't be stored under the variable int. In this case, you can make it as double. Got it? Yeah, more than 36,000, 32,768. If you're trying to store, it is not possible in the integer. Okay, if it is a small number less than 32,768, you can store, but more than that it is not possible. So I have given this example. Please mute. So I have given this example. While adding, 12,300 will be the value, but when you're trying to multiply, when we are trying to multiply, it is not possible. Okay, you can use double. Long int also possible. Okay, long int also possible. So now next one is character. So what is character? Why we use character? Why we use character? To store? Double for decimal part, yes. You can store like float values also can be stored under the double. So directly I have gone to the double. Okay. So here double will take float value as well as integer value. Like however, like in the float only 6 decimal places it will take, but in the double somewhat double of it. Okay. So let me go for the next topic, that is character. So why we use this character? To store the alphabet, right? To store the alphabet. So here alphabet or string. So character data type either has a single character or combination of characters called strings. Okay, we call it as strings. So here, yeah, called strings. Keyword char is used to declare a variable. Which keyword we use? Char is a keyword used to declare the data type character. Okay, and the storage size of double is 1 byte. How many bytes it will take? Only 1 byte. 1 byte is equal to, what is the result? Do you know what is a 1 byte? 8 bit. 2 to the power 7. What is the value? Okay, 8 bits. Right now, 127 up to 127, it will take the value. Okay, so format specifier used is %C. So to enter, to take input of character type, we use %C. Right? Okay, next one. So here is example char ch. Okay, so this is what regarding the data type. So we have 4 data types: int, float, double, character. Since we are discussing only basic part, you can take only up to this. And integer for storing whole number, float to store number with decimal fraction, double for long type of number, and yeah, 2 to the power 7, and character for 1 byte. It will take character will take 1 byte, and char is a keyword, and you can store some strings as well as characters in the character data type. Okay, this is what regarding data type. Now next one, declaration. So declaration means what? See, these are the actually these statements we use in the program. Okay, so declaring variable means what? Declaring means what? Declaring means what? See, here declaring means, for example, see, assigning is different to specify. Yeah, I can consider specifying. See, anything you want to do, you have to go for the requirement first. Yes or no? Deciding, you have to uh, before you plan something, you should know the requirement, right? So what is required? For example, if I ask you to add three numbers, you will know, you will plan for it. How many numbers you need? Yes, three numbers I need, and to result to be generated and result to be stored in some other variable, so that four variables are needed. Yes or no? See, for example, if I ask you to add three numbers, 10, 20 and 30, so we need how many variables are needed? A, B, C. Right now, A, B and C. And after applying the logic, one more variable is needed, that is sum. So A, B plus C. So now you have decided that when you think of about the logic, you have decided that four variables are needed. This is what a declaring. Declaring means what? I am specifying how many variables are needed. Okay. So before we use a variable in C program, we need to declare it. Okay. Before you use that variable, we need to declare it. Syntax for the declaring variable. What do you mean by syntax? Syntax is nothing but it is like a formula. Like how do you use in the formula in the mathematics? What happens? What happens if you don't follow that uh, formula in mathematics? What happens? You will be getting wrong result, isn't it? You will be getting wrong result. So here you have to see, it will generate result. Why? Because you have not followed it properly. So for that reason, what we have to do? We have to follow that rules. Okay. So here I can consider the syntax as a rules. Okay. We can consider the syntax as a rule, which you have to follow it. Okay. Which you have to follow. So what is the syntax? Data type space variable name. What does data type means? Data type can be int or float. It can be char. Three examples I have given. Int and variable name is what? Age. Can be percentage and name. Got it? So int, that is age, float, percentage, char, name. So int is what data type, age is what variable name. Clear? Please mute. Please mute. So this is what declaring variables. Now initializing a variable. What is initializing a variable? Initializing means what? We are assigning value. Okay, assigning value. For example, let us go through it. Data type, variable name, initialized value. For example, int age. So this is what whatever I have shown over here, that is so whatever I have shown here. One second, please mute someone. Okay, so here int age, this is what just a declaration part. Along with, by using is equal to symbol, I have assigned some value here, that is 15. What does it mean? Age is a variable and it is of type integer, and that age value is 15. Right now, in the same way, float percentage is equal to 86.5, which means percentage is 86. Percentage value is 86.5. Right now, since 86.5, which type of data we have to use? Float. Correct? Yes or no? So this is what declaration and initialization. Declaration means what? You are entering the requirement first. Before you write program, you should know what are the data types, what are the variables are needed. That has to be entered here. After that, initializing means what? It will be assigning the value. Okay. So this is what about all. This is all about today's session. So we have done with so many contents. Okay. So in a tomorrow's session, we will be moving on to the operators. Okay. Fine. I hope it is clear to you all. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
So that
ma'am.
today's, okay. Thank you. Today's session I will wind up here, and tomorrow please join at sharp at 6:30. Don't be late to the session. Okay. So that you can, if you miss out on small topic also, it will be difficult. Okay. I hope it is clear to everyone and you are able to understand the topic, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for the, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. You can leave the session. Tomorrow we will join once again at sharp at 6:30. Thank you.